Today we're going to talk about permutation. Well, what's the definition of permutation? Let's first write the definition, then go over the example together. When we're talking about permutation, it is actually the number of ways that we can arrange in objects. Permutation is the number of ways of ordering or arranging objects. Very good. So let us take a look at the following example. Then we're going to drive the formula together. So I'm going to work with my M&Ms. Suppose I have two candies. One of them is red, the other one is blue. In how many ways we can arrange these two candies? Okay, very good. The very first arrangement is red takes the first place, blue takes the second place, first place, and the second place. So this is our first option. Or you might say, hey, I want to have blue first, then red. So blue can take the first place and red can take the second place. So how many ways? One way and two ways. So in two ways, we can actually arrange these two candies. Two ways. Okay. Keep that in mind. Now let us move on to next example. Example. In how many ways we can arrange? Now I'm going to give you three candies. Arrange these three candies. Okay, let's see. Take a look at this. The blue can come first. So you can have blue, then red, then green. Okay. Well, you might say, hey, I want to have the blue first. Then I'm going to have the green, then red. Okay, this is another arrangement. This is another ordering. Well, you might say that, well, okay, I want the green to come first. I want to have the green, then I'm going to have blue, and then red. All right, this is another arrangement. So far, we have 1, 2, 3 arrangements. You might say that, hey, I want to have the green first. Then I'm going to have the red, then blue. Okay. What else? Well, you might say, hey, the blue is the first candy that I'm going to select. So blue comes first. You already have blue. Let's work with the red. Red comes first. And then blue, and then green. You might say, hey, red comes first, then green, then blue. Okay. Do we have any other ordering for these three? That's it. How many in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So 6. We can continue this process. We can work with 4 of them. Let's take a look at the fourth option. I'm going to add a brown candy as well. Okay. Example. Then we can find the pattern. In how many ways we can arrange these 4 candies. Very good. Let's check. Red can come first. So here you have red, then brown, then blue, then green, right? Okay. This is one combination, one arrangement. Then you can have red. Red comes first. Brown. Well, green is the next. And then your blue. You might say that, well, I want the red to come first. I want to have green next. I'm going to have brown after that. And then blue. Okay. You might say red come first. Then I have, for example, let's see, green, then blue, then brown. Okay. As you can see, for 4 of these, we can write a lot of different arrangements. So let's continue. You might say that now, well, I want to have the red first. So red. Then I want to have blue. Then green. Then brown. Okay. Well, you might say red comes first. Then I have the blue. Then brown. Then green. Very good. We have a lot to work with. It was just for red. So if you start by choosing, for example, blue first, you have the following. Blue comes first. Then you have the red. Then brown. Then green. Okay. Blue comes first. Red. Now you can switch between these two, green and then brown. So if you continue this process, remember that you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 options if red comes first. Now you have to count these for blue. Blue comes first, green comes first, and brown comes first. So if you compute all of these arrangements, it's going to be 24 different ways. Wow. If you have time, work on the rest of the combinations of these and put them in order in the arrangement. For example, you might say that, hey, I want the blue comes first. I want to have now green comes second. So I have 2 options for these 2, red, then brown. You might say that, hey, blue comes first, green, brown, then red. If you count all of those possibilities, it's going to be 24. So mathematician came up with the formula. The formula is n factorial the permutation of n distinct objects is n with an exclamation mark next to it, and we read it as n factorial. So let's take a look at these previous examples that they did. If you have two objects, the permutations of two objects, or arrangement of two objects, or ordering of two objects, or the permutation. We are learning some new terminologies of two objects is 2 factorial. So how do I calculate this? 2 factorial is 1 times 2, which is 2, as we saw here. The permutation of 3 objects is 3 factorial, which is defined as 1 times 2 times 3, which is 6. We already see one example here. The permutation or ordering of now 4 objects is 4 factorial, which is defined as 1 times 2 times 3 times 4, or 24, as we saw for our M&Ms. So in general, when you're defining n factorial is defined as 1 times 2 times 3 times 4 times 5 times 6, and you have to continue these multiplications and stop at n. So the number of permutations follow the formula n factorial.